You've heard of PICO-8. It's where that hidden indie gem Celeste got its start. Have you heard of that game? It's pretty underground. I'm your cool Uncle Marissa, and I've been wanting to get into PICO-8 for a really long time. It feels like such a natural crossover for someone who's obsessed with the Playdate and Playdate games, but it just sort of was always just teetering on the edge. Long time ago, I got sent some handhelds to review from Litnext, and one of them was the RG Cube and the RG Cube XX. Now, I remember talking about how I would keep the RG Cube XX, which is the cheaper Linux version of pretty much the exact same thing. Unfortunately, they weren't the exact same thing because they decided that the build quality should also just be much worse on the Linux version, which RIP Linux lovers. So I ended up keeping the RG Cube because it just feels a lot nicer in hand. And I was like, this is perfect for PICO-8. And it is, and it was. Unfortunately, PICO-8 natively is available for Linux and Windows and not Android. So if you wanted to get PICO-8 and Explorer and stuff on your Android device, you would have to use Winlator, which is basically emulating Windows and then launching PICO-8 through that, which I will show you how to do in this video just for kicks. But recently, Max75 on GitHub did what was so long overdue, and I'm so grateful that someone finally did it. And they made an Android wrapper for PICO-8, which means you can just run PICO-8 natively on Android now. I know it's like crazy, but the fact that I don't have to go through the extra steps of running PICO-8 through a Windows emulator makes it so much more accessible. And I just like deleted everything else off of my RG Cube and just PICO-8, and it's just PICO-8. And it's not just PICO-8. It comes with shaders that you can edit to your own taste. You can have like bezels, integer scaling, like emulated keyboard on screen, emulated mouse, etc. There's a lot of features that they've packed into this, and more I'm sure will come. Already there's been several updates to the build. In fact, I was having some issues on my RG Cube with some D-pad inputs, and I spoke to the creator on GitHub. I opened an issue and they ended up addressing it and fixing it in the next version. So super responsive, super helpful. And let's take a look at how to get it up and running on your Android device. Because ever since I've gotten it, I've literally just been playing PICO-8. I have not been playing anything else, just PICO-8. So I don't know, let me know if you guys want a video on like PICO-8 games at some point. But anyway, let's go take a look at how to install this. So let's take a look at Winlator. You launch it, and then you launch PICO-8. And then your camera goes out of focus. There it is. The size of the display can be adjusted based on the dimensions you put into Winlator for how it launches the app. But other than that, there's no like filters or anything like that. There's not really much customization that you can do. It's very crisp. Yeah, I mean, it's only a two-step process max to launch, but I don't know. The app is way better. So let's take a look at how to download the Android wrapper. First off, you need to buy the Raspberry Pi version of PICO-8, or rather just buy PICO-8 and download the Raspberry Pi version. And then go to the GitHub, which is linked in the description, and we can just download the APK from there. Definitely worth reading the README while you're there, of course. And at the time of recording, 1.5.1 was the newest one, but there has been at least one newer version released since. Once it's downloaded, we just open it, and in your case, you'd probably install it. It will probably point you towards your settings to allow unauthorized apps to install, and then you will be good to go.
And you'll notice straight off the bat that I do have a filter on this. So this has a whole bunch of settings. You can favorite games and put them on your home screen. You can turn integer scaling on and off. You can turn on a bezel if you have integer scaling on. And excitingly, you have a bunch of shaders. Now, as of recording, you can't install new shaders. You can, however, edit the parameters of the included shaders, and we'll take a look at that as well, and the one that is my favorite. Some of these do not look good, and some of these do, but my favorite one was the LCD transparency shader, except I didn't really like the gap that is supposed to emulate the gap between the lens and the display. So I will show you how to edit that. You can also adjust the strength of your shader, although I did notice in this iteration at least, it didn't affect the edited version of the shader, but it does work for the unedited versions. You can also adjust saturation. All right, so to edit your shaders, and the instructions are in the GitHub as well if you prefer them written down, is you go into the folder that the PICO-8 is installed in, which should be under Documents, find PICO-8. From there, you can go to Shaders, find the shader that you want to edit, and then you want to copy the shader, copy it to the same folder, and then go ahead and rename it. And there is a renaming convention, according to the GitHub, where you want to name it .custom.gd shader. And then we're going to add a .text extension so that we can edit it. You will need to download a text editor. I'm just going to edit the one I have so that I don't have to do this all over again. And then once you're in here, you can edit any of the parameters that you want. For me, I went to the float transparency and turned that off by putting in zeros. So you can see that this is what it looks like with the float transparency on. It looks like there's a distance between the lens and the display, which is cute. Like, I don't know, it's a very aesthetic kind of thing, like some of the new shimmer, rainbow shimmer filters that have come out for Game Boy Color games. So when you set that to 0, when you're done editing your file, you want to get rid of the text extension, but you want to keep the custom.gd shader info. And then once you go back into the PICO-8 app, just change to a different shader to like refresh it, and then go back to the one you had, and the custom version should load. And you can see now that there is no more drop shadow. Pretty neat.
Okay, that's cool, right? That's like, it's so nice. It's perfect. It's wonderful. It's beautiful. I love it. I love that shader with my edits as well. And yeah, I've been able to play so much. One of the things I was excited to play is Dave Makes had put together this game Curse Match, which you've probably seen the thumbnail as well. And it's a lot of fun. I'm very excited for him to add music. I like get into bed and I scroll the new games, and sometimes I'll do the lucky dip and try new games. But I'm so glad someone's done this, because I'm using this handheld now. There's an iOS app as well now, so you could play PICO-8 on your iPhone as well. So I think that's pretty neat. It's great that PICO-8 is becoming more accessible on all of the devices. So yeah, I hope this was helpful. I hope you can enjoy this now. Let me know any PICO-8 game recommendations. Don't tell me the same thing though, that like all the like popular ones that people talk about. I've got those. I've got I've got combo pool. I've got May's sweet buns. But if there's one that's like not on the featured page and you like, let me know. I wanna download it or buy it, eventually buy it. Maybe you can buy it for me. No, I'm kidding. Speaking of buying things for me though, thank you so much to my Ko-fi supporters. Their names are scrolling by now. For $2 a month, you can be a Nerdfew Advance, which means you get to support the channel and also see things like my game reviews, which I do sometimes once I finish a game and want to share my thoughts. There's quite a few up at this point though, so you can play catch up. I also share other random stuff on there as well. Speaking of other random stuff, I'm currently doing Twitch streams on Twitch, mainly doing modding, repairs, things on stream. Sometimes I'll play Fallout New Vegas. But yeah, it is to help raise money for my cat who is put us in $15,000 in debt, being in the ICU for a week. I'm really glad he's not there anymore, and I'm glad he's okay and he's doing better, but the bills must be contended with. So if you're able to throw like even $1 that way, that's amazing. The QR code is here. It's also linked in the description. Any money from the Twitch streams go towards it, and also they serve to boost the GoFundMe as well. You know, if every single subscriber on YouTube gave $1, that would be 10,000 more than I need. That is the power of the dollar. But thank you so much to everyone who has donated, and thank you in advance if you choose to do so. But regardless, thank you so much for watching this video, and I look forward to seeing your PICO-8 recommendations, and let me know what your favorite device is to play PICO-8 on. Is it a handheld? Is it just your phone? Are you someone who's very cool and interesting and has a special cabinet built for PICO-8? Let me know, and share pictures if you are that third person. If you do have a dedicated station, share pictures on my Discord. I've been your cool Uncle Marissa, and don't forget that you are always welcome at Cool Uncle's house. I will see you in the next one. Bye for now.